The fabric of reality is, everything is made up. Have you ever stopped to wonder, what is real? Take a moment and watch the video in its entirety. Look around you. The city pulsates with life. Neon lights, towering skyscrapers, and endless movement. Everything feels solid, tangible, permanent. But is it? Or are we just living in worlds made up long ago, patchworks of lies, deceptions, and constructs that we've simply agreed to believe? This isn't about conspiracy theories. It's a deeper question. How much of reality is real, and how much of it is just made up? Every system, every rule, every construct in life started as an idea. Currency didn't fall from the heavens. Early humans bartered, and then agreed to use shells, coins, and later paper to represent value. Governments were formed not by nature, but by agreements. Rules, hierarchies, and norms were devised to solve problems. But here's the thing. Once an idea catches on, it changes everything. People adapt, they normalize. What was once a concept becomes reality. Challenge fades, and it becomes the truth. And then we forget. It was made up to begin with. A young artist struggles to find inspiration while their bills pile up. Elsewhere, a cabbie sighs at another notification from a ride-sharing app. A child in a classroom asks, "Why do things work this way?" And the teacher hesitates. Let's take a closer look at how this happens. An idea is born. Perhaps it's proposed as a solution, a quick fix, or an innovation. At first, people resist. They question it, they argue, or they outright reject it. But over time, resistance dissolves. Change settles in, and suddenly it's just the way things are. Remember when people scoffed at the idea of streaming music or working remotely? Now they're cornerstones of modern life. Technology isn't inherently bad, but it illustrates how quickly the uncommon becomes the norm, and before we know it, the norm becomes a necessity. Then there are the more deliberate constructs, the ones introduced not out of innovation, but out of control, fear, or even misinformation. A law, a societal standard, or a narrative is pushed forward. If repeated often enough over a long enough time, it doesn't just become acceptable, it becomes unquestionable. What happens when a lie becomes a reality? Perhaps the most dangerous lies are not the blatant ones, but the subtle ones, norms that creep into daily life until they feel immovable. Who decides what looks beautiful or what success should mean? Why do we trust some symbols like a dollar bill or a job title more than others? Take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you questioned a universal truth in your life? Someone somewhere had to invent the system of credit, the 9-to-5 workday, or the idea of owning land. But now these constructs are integral to how we function as a society. They provide structure, yes, but at what cost? Perhaps the biggest lie we tell ourselves is that things couldn't be any other way. A character scrolls through social media, their face lit by the glow of their phone. Outside, the city continues unchanged, but their perception is consumed by curated images and videos. Take something as simple as social media. What once promised connection now often delivers curated realities. You're not just scrolling, you're consuming a sculpted version of other people's lives. Algorithms shape what we see, promoting certain ideas and norms while sidelining others. The technology we absorb daily doesn't simply mirror reality, it creates it. Step back and you'll see that even here, constructs reign supreme. A viral trend can redefine beauty standards overnight. A trending story can shift political discourse worldwide. But who controls these narratives? Whose reality are we living in? A metaphorical transformation. The bustling city, once alive, suddenly appears like a series of grids and systems floating in the air, laws, advertisements, schedules, all interconnected by strings. The city we inhabit is more than concrete and steel. It's a mosaic of inventions designed to guide, and sometimes limit, human life. Traffic lights ensure order, but also enforce control. Advertisements promise happiness, but their goal is profit. Maps segment the world into borders and property lines, staking claims. Each of these constructs has a purpose, but when stacked together, they can trap as much as they liberate. Just as the city is built on foundations of stone, society is built on foundations of ideas. But unlike stone, ideas are malleable. They can be reshaped. The artist lifts their brush and paints not on canvas, but directly over an advertisement on a wall. The child scribbles in their notebook, rewriting the rules to a game. The cabbie pulls over, turning off their phone and opting to walk. What if we stopped taking things as they are and started imagining how they could be? The systems we inherit often feel unchangeable, but history tells us otherwise. Slavery was once legal. Women were once denied the right to vote. Nations have risen and fallen, laws repealed and norms redefined. When we stop to question, we rediscover the power to rewrite the script. What lies have we accepted for too long? What truths might lie beyond, waiting to be conceived? The city transforms again, not into grids, but a living, breathing realm of possibility. Gardens sprout on rooftops, street art replaces advertisements. People connect, not over devices, but in creative collaboration. This isn't a call to chaos, it's a challenge. Think critically. What systems still serve us and which ones don't? What could we dismantle, reshape, or replace? Imagine a society where creativity, kindness, and freedom are more valued than profits, power, and rigid roles. Could we design schools that cultivate curiosity rather than conformity? Cities centered around well-being rather than wealth? Systems that prioritize humanity over hierarchy? A montage of people in their thoughts. A shopkeeper, a dancer, a barista, a student, pausing in their day to consider their surroundings. As they reflect, subtle changes occur. Expressions soften, inspiration strikes, the wheels of change begin turning. The first step is awareness. When we recognize constructs, we learn how to challenge them. Reality is not as fixed as it seems. It's a canvas, one we're painting on together constantly. So ask yourself, what have I accepted without question? What could I create instead? The camera pans to an empty horizon or an open notebook. A faint breeze moves the pages, waiting for someone to write their story. Perhaps the greatest lie of all is that reality is unchangeable. But the truth? Reality has always been an act of creation, an act of imagination. What will you make of it? What lies are you living? And what truths could you create instead? Always seek knowledge. We are in this together. If we don't support each other, then who will? As always, thank you.